Good evening and welcome to the regular meeting of the St. Peter School Board. It's Monday, April 15th, 2024, 6:30 p.m. in the Governor's Room at the St. Peter Community Center. We will call the meeting to order. First thing up is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We need to consider and adopt the agenda that was published in the board book and also in the packet in front of you.
I'll move to accept the agenda.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Agenda is adopted. Thank you. Kim, do we have any requests to speak?
No.
Okay. We have no requests to speak from the public. So we'll move on to the next item, which is the approval of the consent agenda. The consent agenda is in the board book packet and in the packet in front of you.
Mr. Chair, I move the approval.
I just had one thing I wanted to point out. It looks like we had somebody that was getting their high school diploma. Was anybody gonna, Jen, did you want to speak to that?
Yeah. Thank you, Tracy.
I sure can. You guys are always so quick. Hunter Prinz was recommended to receive his high school diploma. He was a student at Rock Bend ALC. He was a fifth-year senior this year, but completed his credits at the end of quarter 3. So
Awesome.
we're really
That's
happy
awesome.
for him.
Congrats,
Cool.
Hunter.
Yeah, Hunter, congrats. Thank you, Tracy. I believe we have a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion about the consent agenda? Discussion.
It was riveting.
Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Consent agenda is approved. Dr. Graff, I think you're in charge of the student spotlight tonight.
Dr. Graff.
Lainey,
Love it.
Iris,
Got it.
Lauren,
Love
and
it.
Maddie. He's got a whole team with him tonight.
Board Chair, members of the board, thanks for the invite tonight. Safety in numbers. I was a little bit nervous, so I brought the whole crew. So as you guys know, History Day is a large part of our 7th grade social studies curriculum. And how that works, there is a local competition that takes place in our media center. That moves on to regions, which takes place at MSU. And then we have the state competition, and those who make it from state actually have an opportunity to go to nationals, which is at the University of Maryland. And we had 8 entries, or 14 students, qualify for the state competition, which will be held on April 20th at the Minneapolis Convention Center. And this is one group, one of those state qualifiers. So I brought them up to tell us a little bit about History Day and specifically their project. So first, do you guys want to just introduce yourself?
I'm Iris Starstrom.
I'm Lainey. I'm Lauren.
I'm Maddie.
All right, perfect. So does anybody want to just give us a brief overview of what History Day is?
History Day is when you pick a topic and you spend time researching your topic and you decide on what you put your project on. And then you compete in the school competition and then you keep going on if your project's good.
Yeah, so I'm a science guy, and I remember the old science fair. Is it kind of like a science fair, but you're historiing rather than sciencing?
Yeah.
Okay. What was this year's theme?
Turning point
Turning
in
points
history.
in history.
Turning point in history. Okay, very good. And then can you guys just give us a little description of your project? What was your project's title? What did you learn? That kind of thing.
Our title was Title IX.
We learned before 1972, girls didn't play at many sports like at all.
And Title IX was a turning point in history to give us what?
To give girls the right to play sports where schools had to include them if they got federal funding.
Perfect. So kind of a gender equality turning point. Cool. Any anybody want to share anything specific about the project so far in terms of like highlights for you with the competition or experiences that you've had with it?
I think it's been really fun to like see like up the other different like topics and stuff that people chose, and you could see like what also people thought would be considered a turning point.
Cool. I had heard one of you is making a phone call or connecting with somebody of importance to do an interview. Is that accurate?
Yeah, we had an interview with one of the main like representatives, Patsy Mink,
Sure.
and we had an interview with her daughter.
Super cool. So some real life interactions there with people involved. Cool. My last little question is, so when you guys aren't, using your time to do some extensive history on U.S. topics, what else do you do to keep busy?
Me and Maddie play softball.
Softball. Anybody else?
I do volleyball, and then I'm doing track.
We'll have Chad
Yeah.
to be with us tonight. Very good. All right. And then the last thing is, would you guys be willing to introduce who you brought with you today?
You can stand up.
I think everybody knows that.
That's my
Okay.
I brought my mom,
And what's your mom's name?
Nicole. I brought both my parents,
And their names?
Valerie and Jim.
Awesome.
I brought my mom, Erin.
Good. Any questions for the team?
So my understanding, right, that you guys did a team project, is that right? I didn't know you could.
For the school competition, you can only have groups of 2. So me and Maddie were partners, and they were partners, and then we combined to go to regions.
Gotcha. So what was your school projects then? The same topic?
Same
Yeah.
topic.
Gotcha. So who won between the school then, you guys? Did they place in school then, or did you just get like judged? Well, that's a funny question, I guess.
Both projects had qualified, so they combined to allow another group to get to go. Because we had a set allotment of projects that could go. So these girls deciding to work together opened an opportunity for 2 other kids.
Well, how nice.
And this isn't a question, this is a comment. You guys will do well on your interviews on Saturday. This was your warm-up. You didn't know it. Good job. Good luck on Saturday.
I have a question. What was the best part about working together as a team for the project?
Mostly just ideas, because then everybody has like their own idea and they can like put it into the project.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, congratulations.
Good job.
Thank you.
You don't want to stay.
Very awesome.
Sorry, girls, you didn't make
All right. Next up, student council report. Kira and Molly, what you got?
First, we're going to talk a little bit about some things that we're planning through Student Council for Earth Day coming up. So we decided this year we wanted to, do a pop-up thrift store outside of our school or in the commons, depending on how the weather pans out, kind of in support of Earth Day. So we're going to be taking donations from students and staff of old clothes and then selling them in like a thrift store style fundraiser to make a donation to some sort of environmental organization. We haven't decided yet, but hopefully something kind of local to us. And then our National Honor Society chapter is also planning a highway cleanup to kind of celebrate Earth Day as well. So we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah, and then outside of student council, I know ACTs are coming up for juniors. Spanish camp is coming up, and I'll be going to that, so I'm super excited. Just got our senior papers done. The play's coming up. So yeah, that's kind of all that's happening at school right now.
Just busy end of the year stuff like that. So any questions or anything for us?
For the highway cleanup, do we as a district rent or sponsor a segment or?
I guess I'm not sure. I don't think that we sponsor a segment as of now. We just have like 20 volunteers go for one afternoon typically each year for kids to be able to get volunteer hours. So I don't think that we technically sponsor it, but it's kind of become an annual thing for kids to go there and volunteer.
Okay.
So,
Where are you doing it?
I'm not exactly sure.
Because you
Somewhere in
used to
there.
do it on Highway 22.
So I wasn't able to attend last year. I think I'll be going this year, so hopefully give you a report back. But
Let us know where you end up.
there you go.
In a ditch.
Yeah.
Are you both taking the ACT?
No, we're seniors,
Yeah.
so we took it last year, but
Oh, so you can counsel the juniors.
oh yeah, I'm sure they'd love
What?
that.
Everybody likes to get a 36.
Right. Well, yeah. Yeah. I think seniors just have a flexible learning day that day, with like maybe opportunities to job shadow, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. We'll be getting more information about it coming up, I think. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. We'll move into our action items. First item up, as is procedure, we need to canvass the bond referendum election results, and this is a resolution.
Correct. As a legal requirement, between 3 and 10 days following an election, the school board must canvass the results. The results are on the next page there with the resolution with 1,567 votes being cast, 911 which voted in favor, 656 voted against the same, and so it passes with 911 yes votes, which was 58%. The following page has the number of registered voters, the number of people who registered on election day, number of absentee ballots, and then just that total again, 1,567 votes.
So passing the resolution fulfills the legal obligations of canvassing the results.
Correct.
Makes it official.
I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Discussion. Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. This is a resolution, so we'll go around the table. Ms. Rosbach?
Aye.
Mr. Russell?
Aye.
Ms. Stewie?
Aye.
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 The resolution has passed. Thank you. Thank you to the board. Number 2, accept legislative changes to policy 602. Mr. Gronson.
Yes, the policy committee met. We looked at a number of policies, brought one forward for adoption in one reading due to the very minimal changes. Had 2 changes, one regarding e-learning days, that e-learning days could be taken by a district but must have an agreement with our teachers bargaining unit, which we already do. And then that all employees scheduled to work must be paid during the e-learning period. This is new for us, not that people would get paid, but that they would get paid on that day. Typically, people could choose to take a personal day or they could make up the day. And so this is a change for that. And those are the only 2 changes that were included in that.
Because these were just legislative additions,
Correct.
we can pass on the first reading.
Yep.
Correct.
I move approval of policy 206.
602.
602, sorry.
Frontwards or backwards?
I'll second whichever one.
We have a motion and a second for policy 602. Any discussion?
Yeah, so, okay, so talk me through that. So which employees, because you were saying, so some could, can you talk me through that? Like which, so I know like, I'm trying to figure out per group, you know?
Yeah, so the statute basically says that everybody who is scheduled to work that day would get paid. So people like paras, food service, office support, who may not have typically had to work on a snow day, but would have those options in their contract. So now they just get paid, but they can work remotely, or they could work at a different site.
Got it.
Yeah. So it negates the need for them to take a personal day or to make it up at a later date.
Gotcha.
Any further? We have a motion and a second already. Any further discussion? Discussion. Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Policy 602 has been approved. Item number 3, identifying the identified official with authority for St. Peter Schools, the Iowa.
The Iowa, also, yes. That's an interesting acronym for the Identified Official with Authority. That's actually the superintendent. I am the Iowa in Minnesota. But I can assign a proxy. Generally, that is the assistant to the superintendent. What this does is there's another acronym named EDIUM, which is, I couldn't tell you what that is. But the education data is the ed in EDIUM. And it's all of the software programs that control all of the budgets and all the plans, anything that we have to provide to the state. And each of those has someone that has the authority to enter the data or to be an administrator of that software. And so Kimberly and I have to go into the system as the Iowa or the proxy to the Iowa to give people access to the software because it's all secure and you have to be authorized to use it. So this is naming Kimberly Deming as the Iowa proxy.
Lucky you.
Very exciting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
So if I understand this right, Kimberly just has the ability to allow someone who needs the data for a report to get in to the data.
Correct.
She doesn't have to do the report.
No. No, that's whoever she's authorizing to have access to that is typically the person who's entering the data or the plan or the report.
Any other discussion? Discussion. Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Kimberly Deming is now the official Iowa proxy. Thank you. And item number 4, another resolution, acceptance of the ABE Consortium Agreement. Ms. Skinner, hello.
Hello. Before we discuss the agreement, I always like to provide you with an update of Adult Basic Ed. The purpose of Adult Basic Ed is really to help adults gain the educational skills that they need to either transition into post-secondary education or to learn the skills that will help them improve or attain a better job. The Area Adult Learning Cooperative consists of several school districts, and I thought I would just name those quickly. Gibbon, Fairfax, Winthrop, LeSueur, Henderson, St. Peter, Tri-City United, Sibley East, Nicollet, Cleveland, Waseca, Janesville, Waldorf, Pemberton, New Richland, Heartland, Ellendale, Geneva, Waterville, Elysian, Morristown, and then also the law enforcement centers at both Nicollet County and LeSueur County. And Nate Warden is our coordinator. He does a great job with his staff of providing learning opportunities for all of our adults. He's very welcoming. His staff go above and beyond many times. I know of one staff member in particular who's even helped someone practice driving so that they could get their license. So we have a really caring staff. In ABE classes, adults can work towards their high school diploma or the General Education Diploma, learn English, improve basic skills such as literacy or math, and also prepare for post-secondary education or employment. And this year we expanded our program. We added more class times at the community center, and we increased the number of online classes, and also hold a class at the Islamic Center on Saturdays. This year we've seen a similar amount of students served compared to last year. Last year our attendance was 70 students. Right now we're at 66, and we have about a month and a half left for that. In addition to the United States, adults from the following countries have enrolled in our classes: Mexico, Somalia, Guatemala, Honduras, Ukraine, Ethiopia, Pakistan, and Nicaragua. And of the 66 students that we serve this year, 5 of them were born in the United States. 61% of our students' primary language is Spanish. 23 speak Somali, 10% English, 2.6% speak Punjabi, and 2.6% speak Ukrainian. So lots of different languages there. This year we have 3 adults who are on pace to earn their high school diploma, and we will celebrate those accomplishments at our commencement ceremony on Thursday, June 20th at 6 o'clock here in the community center in the senior center. School board members are always welcome to attend and even assist in handing out diplomas or any awards that are there. So just let me know if you'd like to be involved. Moving on to the ABE agreement itself, the services provided by the consortium have not changed, and our responsibilities remain the same as in previous years. Does anyone have any questions about the agreement? Or?
Tammy, if I may?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I just have one. I believe it's the 4th and the 5th whereas indicates that the participating public school districts include but are not limited to.
Correct.
And the same thing with the participating agencies. So my question is, can additional districts or agencies be added during the course of the year? I believe this is an annual agreement, right?
I believe so, as long as all of the superintendents that are part of the consortium agree.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And then that would be reflected in next year when we re-up.
Right. Mm-hmm.
They would then be listed. Any other questions? We do need a motion.
Mr. Chair, I will so move the acceptance of the Adult Basic Education Consortium Agreement.
Right, I have a motion.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. This is a resolution, so we'll need to go around. But are there any other, we have a motion and a second, any other discussion? Discussion. Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. Ms. Rosbach?
Aye.
Mr. Russell?
Aye.
Ms. Stewart?
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Kaut?
Right.
Mr. Wilson? Ms. Martins?
Aye.
The ayes have it. We have accepted, passed the resolution to accept the Adult Basic Education Consortium Agreement.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy.
Tammy, I'm sorry, one more question.
Yes.
Before you leave. June 20th, you said?
Yes, that's correct.
And what time and where?
It is at 6 o'clock in the community center in room 219.
Okay, thank you.
That is a great event if you're able to make it. It's pretty cool. That ends the action items. We'll move into the informational items. Item number 1, Policy 601 updates. Mr. Gronsack.
Once again, the policy committee came together, and although the changes to Policy 601 are legislative in nature, they are quite significant. There's whole sections that have been deleted because of the creation of the READ Act. So anything that was in here regarding reading is taken out, was put into the READ Act that we had adopted a few months back. Also, changes to the World's Best Workforce legislation piece had Read Well by Grade 3. That section has also been taken out because it's covered by the READ Act. And then there were other sections that were added regarding specific language around equity and equity in curriculum and processes. So we really encourage everyone to check out the minutes and check out the redline master of this and get back to either me or any of the committee members with any comments or suggestions.
Awesome.
That's good. I haven't heard it yet.
Anything else with that? Discussion? Okay.
I mean, I don't think I see it in board book,
Oh, that's what I was wondering too.
like to review.
Oh, okay. We'll add that redline.
Maybe it was emailed.
I didn't think I saw it either, but I thought maybe I just missed it, so.
There was a lot to change, and we just wanted to
Yeah.
have people get
Can
to
we-
eyes on it.
Can we link them in the minutes?
Yep. Yep. Sorry about that.
Oh,
There you go.
we did receive an email about it.
Yeah.
Isn't that the one I gave you?
Yeah, and that's, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Those are
an
the
email?
changes that will.
Well, we'll look at it for next meeting.
Yeah, we can put it into the minutes of the board book as well, so that it's available publicly as well. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
But if you do have feedback in the meantime between meetings,
Get one of us, yeah.
either I or Superintendent Concept.
Alrighty.
Great. Item number 2, summer programming.
All right, well,
Ms. Prafke.
we're ready to go.
Oh, hi.
Yeah,
Hi.
I enlisted
Snuck up on us.
Jana. I know, I enlisted Jana to come up and talk about the big kids, and I'll talk about the younger kids. So, as you know, every year for the past several years, we've held a targeted services summer program, and we call that Summer Stars Academy. That is a kindergarten through 8th grade summer schools program for students who are invited based on their eligibility through standardized assessments, teacher recommendation, those types of things. It is an optional program. Typically, it runs 4 weeks, 4 days a week, 4 hours a day, and it will again this summer, July 8th through August 1st from 8 until 12. We house kindergarten through 4th grade at North Elementary just for efficiencies reasons. And then the 5th through 8th grade program, if we get enough kids signed up, will be held at the middle school. So that is exciting to run that program again. We do have transportation available within the city of St. Peter and Kasota at certain identified stops. And as you may recall from past years, this is a self-supporting program. Under our ALC, we receive funding based on enrollment and participation or seat time. So that is our Summer Stars Academy program. We also, in pre-K through grade 12, hold our extended school year for students receiving special education services who qualify for summer school. And so based upon the numbers, those students will be invited as well, and we try to align those times with targeted services to be efficient with transportation and staffing, that type of thing. And then the big news. Do you recall the Read and Feed, who has been in our district for about 14 years? Last year we did not qualify, and so this February I started looking on the MDE website to see if we would qualify, and there's a map that you click your district, and if it's pink, you're good to go. Well, North Elementary was 1 block away from a pink block. So in the back of my memory, I remember when we first started this, that there's some leniency if that's the case. So I contacted MDE. We were able to fill out a census block eligibility form. It looks as though we qualify. We've submitted everything and should find out within the next week or two. If that's the case, we'll run that program June 5th through August 9th for breakfast and lunch again. Students attending not only the summer school programs, but can come, ages 1 to 18 can come and eat for free. So we're super excited about the possibility of having that back for our families in St. Peter. So
When will you find out for sure?
Yeah, it'll be a press release just to like you'll have news that no one else will have. So no, we're excited about that. And when I was talking with the gal from MDE, I was like, yes, because that was like a 14-year run.
Yeah, it was.
So anyway.
And you said within the next week or two?
We should. We've submitted it, and they review them in the order in which they've been received. So as of today at 3 o'clock, they hadn't looked at ours yet. So, but she told me that'd be.
Keep our fingers crossed.
I know, Janet. Yes, exactly.
So for the high school students, we run a credit recovery program, and so students that have failed or not successfully completed credit in a class are eligible, just like with our after-school credit recovery. So those students will be receiving notification of what credits they have to recover and what the options are for sign-up in May. So the dates of summer credit recovery are going to be June 10th to the 28th. We're going to try to offer 3 different sections of classes, so like an 8 to 10, a 10 to noon, and a 12:30 to 2:30. And that is dependent on hiring teachers that are qualified to teach at all of those times. So we're working on staffing right now and looking at what students we anticipate will have need. And so that registration, again, will come out in May. We do not provide transportation in June for that. Many of our students needing credit recovery are driving and prefer to transport themselves anyhow, so there hasn't been a significant need to line up busing. And as Atif said, we are working on securing breakfast and lunch for those students. That's a huge positive when they're able to get that when they're at school. So we're looking forward to another positive credit recovery this summer.
It's always hopping.
Yes, it is.
Well, I hope that, I know teachers always like to have that time off, and it's a big ask. And so for those 3 of them that might be listening to the meeting, I mean, I know we really appreciate when they do that, because it's really needed, and it is. It's a big ask, so we appreciate when they take the time to teach those classes. So.
And even our Stars Academy program, we have very dedicated people coming back year after year for that 4 weeks to do that.
Yeah.
Very appreciative of that.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Next up, the Native American Parent Advisory Council Annual Compliance Update. Welcome.
Yes, we have Charmaine Claw and Scott Walker joining us from the Native American Parent Advisory Council, who is charged each year with discussing the progress the district is making towards goals for our Native American students, and to pass either a resolution of concurrence or a resolution of non-concurrence. And I understand this year you're here to share a resolution of concurrence with them.
Good evening. I'm Charmaine Claw. I am many roles here at St. Peter's School District, but tonight I am going to be serving as the liaison and the American Indian Education Coordinator. And as Bill said, whatever I was supposed to say, he already said it, but I'm here. I am here to share information of what NAPAC, okay, I'm going to share if St. Peter's School District is in concurrence or non-concurrence, and like Bill said, you guys, we believe that the school district is concurrence. And joining me this evening is the Vice Chairman of the NAPAC, and she will share why they think.
So this school year, NAPAC has seen a positive educational impact on all students, and more importantly, enhancing the cultural self-identity of the Native American students. Educators have provided instruction and experiences to students here at St. Peter's School District, the larger group being non-Native. This approach portrays positive awareness and addresses the uniqueness of Native American history, language, and culture. We are creating a community with students of all backgrounds. Our Native American students, staff, and families are beginning to see a reflection of who they are as a Native American, something that makes them proud. We just ask that the school district and board continue to offer their support in meeting the needs of our Native American students academically, culturally, and keep promoting the educational knowledge and understanding of all Native Americans to all.
Nice. Yep, with that said, thank you. And in other language, Miigwech, Ahihe, and Padamiaye. That's thank you in Ojibwe, Dakota, and Navajo, which all of those are the Native American students we serve here at St. Peter's School District. Any questions?
I just just want to thank you for all of the work that the committee does. I know that it can be a lot, but all of the different events and all the things that have been incorporated into kind of the traditions of the district are really a big part of that identity, and of having the community have those celebrations together has been leading the way. So thank you for everything that you did and all of your help with Native American Joy Day, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen next.
Okay. And I'm going to second what he said and say that all you guys, you're not only just doing it with the Native American kids in this district, but you're connecting them to the other Native kids in the region. And I think that's an amazing accomplishment.
Thank you.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
That is all for the information items for tonight. Next up, we have reports. Building principals. All at once, going in shifts.
Principal Doherty is making his way to the Capitol.
He's not here, I brought him.
Is that just the first half of it, or?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're out of order, but I know. We would not have had room for Mr. Doherty. Well, so hello from early childhood. This is the time of the year, weather's beautiful. We're getting kids out for nature walks, walking to the parks, some field trips. A big trip for many of our classrooms has been the Children's Play Museum in Mankato. That has been a hit, and we've been going, of course, during the week, and so it's nice and calm, and kids have had a lot of fun. So we'll continue those. Early childhood students receiving services through early childhood special education will also be making 2 field trips to our friends at South as part of the transition process. They'll get to play in the playground, see the school, see the playrooms, that type of thing. So we're excited about that. And then another big news, Thursday, May 2nd, mark your calendars, the annual Early Childhood Vehicle Fair, which has been I know, right? Everyone, I've got great news in all avenues this
Read
week.
and feed and the vehicle
I know.
fair all on the same night.
I know, my work here is done, right? So typically we hold that vehicle fair in the First Lutheran Church parking lot. But last year I decided, I think our upper lot, Mr. Graff, will fit all of those vehicles. So we're going to try it in our lot. I just hadn't told you that yet. And then we'll have parking down below. It's 5 to 6:30 on Thursday, May 2nd. And we're excited. We've got fire trucks, police cars, some vehicles, utility vehicles from the city, lots of different vehicles coming, motorcycles, etc. I was trying to convince someone on our way up here, someone who may have a dune buggy, that would be super cool to bring. Who would that be? The big hit is always honking the horn, but we may have to limit that this year. But it is really a great event. It's free. We offer Domino's pizza at cost, so families can afford to come and eat, and kids get a little prize when they've seen a certain number of vehicles. So it's really fun. We get over 225 kids alone at the vehicle fair. So Thursday, May 2nd is the place to be. So that's a little bit from early childhood.
All right. Well, I don't know that I have any truth bombs like that to drop like you've had, right? We too are getting ready for spring, and the beautiful weather has made our spring fever kind of hit the top already, but we'll probably come down a little bit this week. So I think because we haven't had that many days of school since we were here last. So I think I'm just going to fill you in a little bit about the READ Act. Bill talked a little bit about what some of the language changes that are in place, but the administrative team is currently working on a plan. We finally received information last week from the state saying that we have the go-ahead to now talk to the vendors. So the program that we will be using is CORE, or OLA is the new name for it, and it is a virtual training, but it is 49 and a half hours per participant. And we have 67 people who are in the first phase that need to be trained. So we've been challenged with how do we try to get that to fit within our school day, where we can, or within our school year. We have until next June, July 1, I believe it is, to have everyone trained. So we looked at 2 options, and we will continue to work with SPEA to see if we can find a way to get that training in and be in compliance with that. The early childhood group will also need to be trained, and I believe there are 11 individuals there. I had a call from MDA, but we haven't been able to connect just because I had some questions. They cannot do this training. It isn't for preschool, so we will go ahead and continue to work on that, and probably at the next meeting we'll be able to share what our plan is for training.
So,
And don't forget, the South concert is coming up on May 16th. Starts at 6:15.
is that instead of letters then?
Letters is one of the options. Letters is 117 hours of training.
Oh, okay.
So
I just was
school
wondering.
districts had the opportunity to pick
I kept
which.
hearing letters.
There were 3 different programs. Letters was one of them.
Okay.
This OLA was the only one that was offered totally virtually, and there are 3 one-hour sessions that have to be attended with this one. So knowing that this is something additional that we're trying to fit in, and the components all met the requirements. So yeah, letters starts at 117 hours. Early childhood one is a little less intensive, but it's still a pretty comprehensive program.
So do any of those programs have a train the trainer?
Letters, you can do that. They do have a train the trainer. The rep did not tell me that OLA had anything, just because there's only 3 one-hour virtual sessions, so we may have to look at something like that. We'll have a literacy lead identified by next year as well, and perhaps that person then can do that and help support any new members that come to the district.
Because it's my understanding that REDAC 2.0 or whatever version is coming out now is going to make that a requirement.
And that, train the trainer or the literacy lead person would probably have the capabilities of being able to support the practice in the classrooms, along with training any new staff that may be coming.
Would that option make it easier to train people during the school year?
Honestly, I think the flexibility of being able to do it virtually for people, just because within the school day, the difficulty in finding substitutes, and 117 hours is a lot of time to find outside of the school day. So, we're trying to make the magic happen, meet the requirements, yet understand that people are still teaching full-time, and there's reading that goes along with this, along with the online training.
Thank you for being up on top of it, because that's all we hear, or I shouldn't say that's all we hear about. We hear about a lot of things, but READ Act is, it's the big buzz. So everybody wants to know about it. I'm like, yeah, it's something, isn't it?
It is. It'll be great when it's done. I
Yeah.
mean, the training itself is fabulous.
Yeah.
It's just trying to fit it in with, and the expense.
Yeah, it's
of
just
it.
a very interesting time for it, isn't it?
In the middle school, I didn't tell you. But we're taking over the EC gym. Just kidding. I just want to give another big shout out to our 8 History Day groups who are going to Minneapolis. Such a cool interdisciplinary project that students work on really for about a month and a half. It's a coordination between social studies and English class, really diving into research skills, writing skills, and presentation skills. And thank you for those of you who came to do some judging and to help support that project. Next, spring is in the air, like Doreen said. We've got baseball bats and golf bags and softball stuff filling the Student Support Center. And with spring comes MCAs. So the middle school actually starts MCA testing tomorrow. 5th through 8th grade will take reading this week. The following week, 5th through 8th grade will take math. And then the week after that, 5th, and 8th grade will take science. So 3 straight weeks of testing. We're doing a little bit different this year to kind of create more of an excitement around it where all grades will test at the same time. In previous years, we've done, kind of each grade does their own timeline, and students will test during the regularly assigned English, math, and science courses. One thing I'd like to share, at the end of each quarter, we do a data update that I share with staff, share attendance data, grade data, all those kinds of things. But one data point that I'm really proud of that has been fairly consistent for St. Peter Middle School is the percentage of students who report feeling cared for by the adults within the building. We are consistently around 94% of our students report feeling cared for. You might say, well, gosh, man, that's 6% of your kids aren't reporting that they feel cared for. But when you compare that to the state average of 90%, it's something that we're really proud of. The research shows that student-teacher relationships are a critical component of successful middle schools, and we work really hard at that. So I wanted to share that. And then lastly, a huge thank you to the community for their support for the Mend the Middle referendum. We're very excited for what is coming down the road, and we hope to continue to support our middle school students and community to the best of our ability in a shiny new or shiny updated facility.
And warm and cool.
And then there's that too.
Yeah.
I'm more excited about the
Do
staff.
they take the MCAs on their own devices?
Yep, their own Chromebook. Yep.
Okay, they allow that now.
Want to go next?
Sure. Well, I've got Darren's report here, so it might be a while.
I'll get comfortable.
That's right. I just wanted to give a shout out to our building trades class. They are in the process of building our 30th Habitat house. Yeah, very cool. Scott Robinson is heading that up. He took it over from Warren Peterson, so this is his 3rd house. We will be attending a hard hat breakfast in sometime this month. I'm not sure when. Anyway, that's very, very cool. And fun fact, this year one of the family members is in the class helping to build her house. Oh. And I believe that's a first. We are sending somebody to the state speech contest. Maya Winsel took 3rd. The top 3 make it. We had somebody else place 5th, Haley Glass. So congratulations to both of those two. We have a robotics team that we support. We support a little bit financially, but the majority of these kids are St. Peter High School kids. They're going to nationals in Houston. First time, I think, in many years, which is very exciting. But one kind of fun moment I walked into, Vero Clark's, I believe it's her Spanish 4 class. They have Zoom buddies with Spanish speakers from Mexico City, from the old high school that Vero and Dan used to teach at. And they're sending a team to nationals, and some of those kids are actually the Zoom buddies, and so they're they're excited to hook up and meet at robotics nationals. So congratulations to those guys. The student council reps mentioned that we have what we used to call Opportunity Day. The ACTs and the pre-ACTs, ASVAB tests go on that day. We have also invited our future 9th graders up for the afternoon. Our seniors and our 9th graders will be having flex learning days. Those tests are pretty draining, so kids who need to stay and need transportation at the end of the day will have other activities for. So our incoming 9th graders will mostly have the building to themselves, and we'll be running them through what it's like going through the lunch line and finding places throughout the building. So we're also getting the help from our upperclassmen and our Honor Society and Student Council kids, so should be a great day.
By running, you mean walking?
Yeah. Well, I've worked with middle schoolers before, so I'm not so sure.
It'd be the first time this year, wouldn't it?
All right. At Oshawa and at Rock Bend, we are also starting MCAs tomorrow on devices, so we are excited for that. At Rock Bend, we are also doing a park cleanup. We have adopted Hallett's Park. That's been for a number of years, so they're heading down there in the coming days to clean up. And then Rock Bend students are also looking forward to the work and employment competition coming up in April. That's typically held at South Central College. A number of students, I think the high school is also participating, from the region go to that event, and they participate in a number of competition categories, job interviewing, resumes, things like that. And typically our Rock Bend students do really, really well, so they're very excited about that.
No.
You're
From North.
breathlessly
I know,
waiting.
I know, right? Every month.
I will say that Principal Doherty is making his way to the Capitol with MESPA, and it is their day at the Capitol, and so he's going to convince them to give us all the funding. I understand.
Very good.
So maybe he was saving his report for that.
Mrs. Engler, if I may ask a quick question. Is the SAT still an option for sophomores?
We do, yes, it's just not as widely.
Right, exactly,
as
especially in the
widely
Midwest.
accepted, or it's accepted, but ACT is much more common.
Oh,
in the
exactly.
Midwest.
Yeah, exactly. It used to be the SAT was required for the national merit.
Oh, PSAT that is accepted for that.
Which is P, the preliminary scholastic
Yes,
aptitude test,
yes.
yeah.
So that's offered to our sophomores.
Right, okay. All right, if they choose to take the follow-up SAT then, they would do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Very few actually do.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't, if they're, obviously if they're in the running for national merit,
Mhm.
then they.
I really like to spend Saturdays taking tests.
Or if they really like to spend Saturdays taking tests. Good point.
Thank you.
Obviously. Fun.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Mr. Gronson.
Yes, I wanted to start with a big thank you to the St. Peter community for supporting the middle referendum. And thank you to the many, many people who spent a lot of hours getting out the vote, sharing information all through the community, whether that be holding events or letting me come and speak to their groups or making phone calls. A lot of time and effort was spent in making sure that everyone had the information they needed to make those decisions. And design work and planning is underway, and that will continue. We'll be gathering input from staff about finishes and all of that just coming up real soon. And we look forward to starting construction on that project about a year from now, spring of 2025. So more to come on that. I did want to speak just briefly about the legislative session. I do know that the READ Act, as we've mentioned, has had about 8 different iterations through this session. We don't have the final information yet. I understand that a big topic has been this unfunded training piece, and so I haven't seen any numbers attached to it, but I know that funding that is a part of the conversation, so that could change the options that we're looking at as well. The House has passed their omnibus bill. The Senate isn't quite there yet. They're working on it, but we know that there are differences between the omnibus bills, and so there will be a committee selected to negotiate the compromised omnibus bill, and they'll be naming the members of that committee this week. So we will be watching that so that we know who we can be reaching out to advocate for things that we support. Regarding our budget, the administrative team has continued to develop and revise our plans, and we will have a full presentation with options to be considered at the study session scheduled for Thursday. And that is my report.
All right. Thank you. Board members around the table. Ms. Ratzbach.
Just to thank you very much to our community for supporting our students, our staff, and everybody at our schools. I really appreciate that, and appreciate everyone who's worked on mending the middle.
Thank you. Mr. Russell.
Ms. Rosbach stated that very well, and we just say we do appreciate it, and we'll do our very best to utilize all that support in a very effective and well managed way. Also, just want to mention, it's always nice to hear from the administrators of all the success stories and upcoming things that are transpiring. And appreciate your time and all your good work. So thank you.
Ms. Dewey.
A couple things. First off, is the meeting on Thursday a study board session or a school board meeting?
Study session.
Okay. All right. Because that was one thing I had on my list, was to make sure that people knew that we were talking about the budget, because we hadn't talked about that yet. So people, in case they're tuning in to see what we were doing. And then I just wanted to point out, because I know the teacher contract came up last session or last meeting, and then we had kind of talked about it. I had asked some questions about it. My husband is obviously a teacher. We voted on it, and then I was told I had to abstain from the vote. It might have looked weird, like maybe I was asking questions because I thought the teachers weren't getting enough, and that was not the intent of the questions. The question was, I was coming from it as a school board member, and I just wanted that to be clear to everybody, because when then it was pointed out that I couldn't vote, that just might have seemed awkward to people as to why I was asking those questions, and it was not because I did not think they weren't getting a fair contract, and I just wanted that to be on record. This was told to me by a couple people, so I'm just bringing it up. I think for future elections, we need to be aware of having school board members serve as election judges. I think that is something that, although there are a lot of judges, it is just something that we should probably try to avoid. It's fine. It's not that there's anything wrong with it. There's a million people. It's fine. It's just not a very good look. And I expressed that concern, but I'm just saying it again. The other two things are the Nicola County Collaborative. I'm on that as an MVED rep. The funding, we're obviously, as with everything, right? This is just a little bit less, so we'll have to work that into our budget. And then we have our MVED board meeting tomorrow night. So we'll be watching that as well to make sure that we are staying within budget down there as well. So that's all I got.
I too would like to echo thanks to the community on the Mend the Middle vote. I guess I'd be happy to give up my 14 hours of being an election judge.
I'm not saying it wasn't great. I'm just saying
people are
I got
upset
a few comments about it. So I'm like, it just, I mean, it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's your personal win. I get that. It's just, it is what it is. So, and I think what people need to realize too is there is a quadrillion people. I mean, it's not like, it's just, we can just avoid it, we should.
The minutes from the business committee came out. We are discussing things within the business committee in an attempt to provide the board with more feedback on the budget and how we're going about throughout the course of the year. So hopefully we will make more progress with that. Going through the bills this past month, I was kind of shocked to see, I didn't realize we spent so much money. I mean, we spend almost $250,000 on 3 items this past month. Our regular monthly busing contract's $106,000. And the city electric bill was like $44,000, and our payment to MVED was $77,000. So I mean, it's when it comes to starting to cut things, those are the huge expenditures other than salaries, and I don't know if there are cuts available there. So put your thinking caps on.
Yep.
Thank you for a successful referendum vote. Appreciate that.
And I want to say the same thank you for the community. I do think that Superintendent Gronseth deserves a bit of extra pat on the back because of the number of appearances he made publicizing this. I think that the turnout can be done with that. And Tracy, I do want you to know that Director Cowd and myself were concerned the same way. We checked with MSBA, and they have even a thing on the page because that was a concern, the fact that we were on the board. Could we still serve as?
No.
So we did check that out rather thoroughly.
Yeah.
And we'll take, I mean, there will be a need for election judges coming up too, so everybody who can should.
And I made sure people knew that part too.
Yeah.
That it was legal and it was okay.
Right, yeah, I agree with you.
But for optics.
Yes.
And that's what everybody wanted me to say, was they
And
wanted me to
there
say
you
it.
go. And
So I'm
thank you.
saying it.
I
Because my
appreciate it.
people want to be heard.
Yes.
So they're heard.
And that's great.
And it's all
Thank
legal
you.
and it's all good.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, and then this, yes, you've got a great administrative assistant.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. We've got upcoming meetings of the school board. They are all listed, of course, on the St. Peter Public Schools website under the school board calendar. So check them all out there.
Meetings calendar, it says.
Meetings calendar, yep. And then, but the two meetings or gatherings of the full board, the school board study session is Thursday, April 18th this week, 6:30 p.m. in the St. Peter Middle School Media Center. And then we have a special school board meeting on Monday, April 29th at 6:30 p.m. also in the St. Peter Middle School Media Center.
I do want to note that HR committee meeting is being rescheduled.
Okay. So the meeting that is on the list for Monday, April 22nd will be rescheduled. And that'll be updated on the meeting calendar website. Thus concludes
Mr. Chair,
our agenda.
I do have one question. We're well out into May, on May 20th on the calendar.
Correct.
Just a confirmation, graduation is the 31st?
It is Friday.
You guys would know.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
I May 31st.
Friday the 31st.
Yes.
8 p.m.
At 8 p.m. Yep.
We'll be there. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Unless I jump the gun.
We have a motion
I'll second.
and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.